What's up, everybody? Ethan, fight me on this.
Hi, I'm Jill. Coach Jill. April.
How are you doing? How's your week going? How have your last couple of weeks been going? How was the last episode for you guys as we shit talked a TV show? I shit talked a TV show. I do that a lot.
Listen, he does do it a lot, actually, but like,
Listen,
be
we
accurate.
live in a capitalist, consumerist world, and I don't have to like the things I'm consuming, and I'm allowed to vocalize it. You don't have to like what I'm saying. It's the beauty of this world. I know who that is. Yep.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Has that plant always had leaves that are two different colors?
Which one? The pothos up there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Neat.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite ones. Any weird plants are weird. Are my favorite. That one does too. Like these ones don't. Those are the green and reds. But if you see the small ones at the top, those are also two tops.
Neat. I've never noticed because I'm not usually this far away from the plant.
There. Hards, and joys. Because Riverside's fucking stupid AI literally refuses to put the fucking word hard. No matter how hard you say the D, it'll be a T. Riverside's shitty.
Is that your hard?
It's a piss off when I'm fucking editing, I'll tell you that much. Oh, yeah. My hard happened during my joy. People suck. Literally everywhere you go.
I can't nod any bigger.
Like, and as this weekend in my joy is being king and being in Cary West, and holy fucking shit, what a time it was. In all of that, I'm still performing. I'm still doing a job. I'm still there to do something. And people seem to think that two things. I'm bonus to pick with two things, but I'll settle with one. One is very fucking handsy people. And two is people that just don't have awareness that the world doesn't fucking revolve around them. Do I tell them off? Do I get into it? I wound up having to call for security in like the last 70 feet of the fucking parade because these two assholes pulling a fucking wagon kept interfering. I'm in a big 10-foot costume. Not just my costume. This motherfucker's 10 feet tall, 10 feet side to side. Like it is 100, 110, 15, 20 pounds of cart that I'm sailboat that I'm fucking maneuvering around this bitch with my 200 pounds of body. And the focal point is me. I was coming around the corners. The focal point is the only piece that we brought, which was the king piece. We brought every other person was dressed up and all the fun stuff. But outside of the group of people and me, the job is to stay the fuck out of my way. Because I have a cart. I have like nothing. I have blind spots on either side and a fucking wingspan that I don't carry with me every day. And it's not the first time I've run into these people in my day, asked them to move, had tried to be like, hey, why don't you take your fucking wagon up away from me? Get out of my way.
Or like off to the side. Like they kept being right in the middle.
Where I'm like, and I'm going block to block, guys. I'm not just going up with the parade. I'm side to siding every 5 feet. Like I am weaving Jasper Ave back and forth. That's my fucking job.
And like they had a wagon, but they also had kids, but the kids weren't in the wagon. So it's like these two dads trying to fight with their kids to get them to put your kid in the wagon you're pulling. There's a solution.
And
here,
like
team.
I don't give a shit when you're not a part of our collaborative job. You're an extra at best, and your kids don't listen. So what do you do trying to put them where we're competing? Put them where they could be injured because I don't see them or you. But at this point, the kids aren't in the cart. They're somewhere over there. And the dads just stop walking and start talking in the middle of a parade while I'm, for like the 15th time, asking them to move. And they're just still standing there. And when they do start moving, they're snail pace, sauntering in front of me. And I'm still trying to get around them, but I can't. There's not enough room on the street because I'm trying to cross the goddamn train tracks. And now I'm not nice. I don't have time to be nice because I'm trying to move the parade along. And so I'm like, bro, could you fucking move? And he stops and stares at me like he wants to fight me. And for those of you that have been following along, I'm not the one. And 2, I have a job to do. So I don't have time to waste on you. So instead of knocking his fucking teeth down his dumbass fucking throat and out his fudge knot, I ran him over with the cart. And if not for the big security dude that was supposed to be behind me watching this shit happen, being there, that was the end of my king days. Because I'm no longer a king. I'm just a motherfucker you pissed off, being an asshole, and I'm going to tune you in public. So that was my heart in the middle of my joy. If not for Jill and the rest of the people pulling me along, like that would have changed.
Like the amount of times I had to tell people to move for Ethan, even though he was telling them to move, like I would turn around often to make sure he was able to move forward. But the amount of times I had to run back and be like, yeah, you guys have to get out of the way. Well, I want a picture. I don't care. I don't care that you want a picture. I don't care that your kid's crying. Get out of the way.
Your kid doesn't, and like I have more sympathy for the kids because the kids don't want to be around. The scary thing, if you saw the costume on, it's intimidating. I'm intimidating. So when kids turn from me, I'm like, I'm on. But the parents are trying to force them in. I'm like, I'm out. Your kid doesn't even want to be here. Like, fuck off. I'm not doing this to your kid. You're an idiot. And I just move along. But people want to get within the wingspan and then crowd me. There was another time I got mauled by a bunch of people that were being handsy.
I literally had to run back and like
I had to dip myself, like press myself on the handlebars to lock eyes with someone that would help me because they wouldn't move. And I was 4 seconds away from ruining 7 people's whole day. And I never get that. I couldn't even get on that type of wavelength to be so fucking intrusive with your existence that way. What are you talking about?
It was always the people being like, well, and like so offended. Like, I actually don't care. Get out of the way.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to be nice. I'm giving them countdowns. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, I got to get out of here. And some lady tried to hold me by the neck. 7-year-old. Literally tried to hold me by the neck when I tried to turn. And I said, I'm leaving. 3, 2, 1. Almost tripped her right over. I have no, miss me. First of all, don't touch me. That's not what this is. This crazy part. Like people will come and like they'll put their hand, and I can feel they're awkward because most people have like a consent bubble. And like I grab my hand and I never actually touch people. You can see my flag flying on the sides of all of these people because I won't touch them. But like grabbing me in, I had one woman like grab me by the rib cage on the other. Like it's fascinating, and you can't lose your shit because you're performing. But yep, people were my heart while I was doing stuff with my people. You always do. What was your heart?
I don't think I said this out loud to you because it's family related, but it's like a piss off with family, and I think Ethan will, even though he doesn't get family, he'll be like, what the fuck? I had a moment, so I went out to my Oma's, because my Oma crafts. Any craft you could possibly think of, the woman has done. If you wonder where autism and ADHD comes from, it's her, whether she's aware of that or not.
Yeah, you should have seen these bins. That shit was crazy.
She has a whole room in her house just full of crafting supplies. So I mentioned a few weeks ago when I saw her that I was making necklaces, and she was like, stop spending your money, come out to my house, get all my jewelry. She was like, I have some jewelry stuff you can have. Some, keyword. I didn't even take half of it out of her house.
You ever get annoyed when they don't make the air holes big enough?
So you can't
actually drink your shit, and it keeps making that noise? That was cool. I guess that's a tism. Echolele was funny.
Yeah, I didn't even take half of my Oma's jewelry stuff, and I have thousands of beads. Besides the point, I have enough beads, I thought, for the rest of my life, but then as I was making bracelets for Carrie West, I'm like, oh no, I'm still missing colors, which I didn't think was possible. But now I understand why my Oma ended up with so many fucking beads, because you need more. But I went out there, and my grandpa had been sick for the week, and like, small backstory, my grandparents live on an acreage still. My uncle lives with them and his 2 sons that are adults. So there's 3 adult men that live in one house, and then my grandparents that are in their 80s that live in another house, and they live on an acreage. And my grandpa has this like beautiful garden. Like he has sunflowers, all the vegetables, cucumbers, all of the things. Like I might not be BFFs with everyone in my family, but I can respect that like my grandpa puts in a lot of work to his garden every year. But he was sick for the week. So my Oma asked if I wanted sunflowers. Yes, of course. They have like a full field of sunflowers because they just keep growing. And we're out there picking them, and she starts telling me that like the garden is so grown over and like all weeded because my grandpa was sick all week, so he couldn't weed the garden. What are the 3 adult men that live in the other house doing? And I just got like so annoyed, and like I only get along with parts of my family, and that specific part of my family is not one I get along with well. I don't speak to my uncle for reasons like this, but like the level of rage I had of just being like, so you're telling me there's 3 adult men that live in this house, and the 80-year-old one that takes care of the garden was sick for a week, and nobody in that house thought of lifting a fucking finger? Grass wasn't cut, garden wasn't weeded, nothing was done. And like, they're lucky they weren't home, because I would have went in there and ripped a head off. But it's just like my most confusing part about family is like everybody preaches like their family, no matter what, you have to take care of them, we have to like them. And then when they're actually in a time of need, nobody does anything.
I believe in counter, because Jill's right, I don't get the family thing. But like a need is a tough stretch for that. That was just like a genuine opportunity to be a human. It's not even a need. It's not a weed. You can go a week without weeding. You can do it next week. Like fucking fundamental. You don't drive past that knowing the human's sick, and it doesn't trigger I could do that. Like, and I don't get was forced to do these things. I had to turn things like shoveling into a love. Then I turned it into a job, and then I realized I was good at it, and I actually like it because, like vacuuming, I can see what the process is, and it just goes. I love that shit. Mowing the lawn, very similar. But like, you're telling me
3 capable adults.
3
Nobody was like
selfish fucks, because they're all the same. Like the big fuck they live with. Oh, I gotta whatever.
like
go fuck yourself. I don't like you.
Nobody could be like, oh, I could take that task, because like my Oma is like in tears about the garden, which like that might be a titch dramatic, but like it's something they work really hard on, and my Oma can't do it anymore because her back is fucked up. Blah, 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 blah.
That is what the tears are. That's helplessness. It's not even like a. That's not. Sorry, I'm not trying to step over you, but like that. I don't even like these people. Okay, let's get it up front. If you don't know that, I don't like any of them. But that woman is in tears because the person she loves most in this world is sick, can't take care of the thing he loves second to her, that feeds them. And she can't help, and she has wastes of flesh that she bore. No, it's your story. Also, I'm here. I'm supporting you.
There's so many pieces of this. Like, they live in her house, first of all.
I didn't know I could sit cross-legged on this couch till just now.
There's so many things that just like made me so mad, and like I'm not really one to jump to help my family with much. Like, I'm not weeding the garden, but also I don't live on the property, and I'm not a grown man that has nothing to do. And there's 3 of them right there. And yeah, I literally was like, are they home? And my mom was like, no. I'm like, good. Because I would be going in that house being like, get your fucking ass outside and weed the garden. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, actually.
And my Oma was like literally in tears being like, look at the garden, it's weeded over and it's going to take them so long to catch up and I can't do it. And I was just like, I'm going to blow them up. Like, why do you live here if you're not going to be useful in any way? So it was just like a hard of being like, hold on, what's the point of preaching family this, family that, family, if you're not even going to be helpful towards the family that gave you a house to live in?
That's why I feel the way I do about that word. Because it's just a fucked up word that you motherfuckers throw around. Like, if Ethan
couldn't water his plants for a week, I would be like, tell me how to water your plants, I'll do it for you. Like, it's not hard to, like, clock that your person, your people, family or not, need support. And if you're fully capable of doing it, why wouldn't you do it?
Like, how... Yeah. Nah, yeah. That we could talk the whole episode on how are people that way. Like, it's not even blinders. That's willful ignorance. That's willful stupidity. That's
useless.
Thank you. It is. Fucking waste of skin and oxygen. Can't even be organ donors because you beat your body up. You waste fuck. Anyways.
So if anybody has like a real passion for weeding a garden, Let me
I'll
know.
give you an address. Could you imagine your grandma walked out and it's weed? Just like,
I'll cut you some sunflowers in exchange.
okay, take as many sunflowers as you want. That's your pay.
They're
Pay
really
yourself
pretty.
in
My
sunflowers.
Oma made me like a bouquet of all the flowers they grow in their garden, and then I gave it to Ethan. Like they got some good flowers out there, so I'll
The
pluck
purple
you.
ones are all blooming now, even though they're cut off, which is so
They're
fascinating
growing
to
in
me.
the vase.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me. I no shit, but like still, you always think when you're a kid, you cut them, they die. They say don't pick them, they die. This one just be chilling and growing.
That's why tulips are my favorite flower, because they keep growing even after you cut them. But yeah, if anyone has a passion for weeding gardens, I'll build you a bouquet of flowers.
Joy, and my joy is Carrie West. I love it. I want to be part of it for the rest of my life. Like I really do mean that. It's not because I hope they see it and they know. Like I know that I tell them all the time. Like there is so much I love about this event. And for me, it's deeper than just like I get to be a model, because I do, and I love being a model. I love what I get to do. That's so fun. But I get to be me, even in the pissed off moments. Like I even have more control then, because normally I'd just come unglued and I'd come out of that costume and beat the shit out of you. But like when there's videos and I can catch it, and it always makes me emotional when I see myself having that much fun. Trauma steals a lot of shit from you. And I have not known real joy until my adult life. Like real joy that I get to keep for me. And when people ask me what's my favorite memory of my childhood, I don't have any. I have none that are marred in shit. And even in the heart of that, when it tempts me to be a person that I used to be, a version of myself that I'm great at, to protect her, so I'm not protecting shit, just my own sanity, I can shut that down to continue having a good time and not let myself steal joy. There's videos and there's moments when I don't remember all of them. When I see a camera and people are shooting, and I'm in the camera, I'm with that person. And there was like times there's 9, 10, 11 cameras. And I know I locked eyes with all of them. And I know that there was a moment I shared every time. And some of them got them, and I look and I can see how happy I am. And it's not even to be the center of attention. It's because I'm sharing all of this with everybody. The most authentic version of me. Loud, excited. There's no cap on my energy. I just get to be free. And then this year I got to share it with my people. Like Jill was there last year, but Jill walked with me this year. She walked with Brian, and Brian got to actually jump in the male costume this year. So to get to see how excited Brian was out on the road, and also taking lessons of how hard it is to be on the road for that long. Just every year. I hope that the opportunity to be the king is there for me every year, but I will jump in this band forever. I would love to see what it's like to go to another level with it, whatever that is. Not even because I want more, but because I hear that it gets bigger. That there's places that have 200-person bands doing the same thing with people that are like me. Oh, what? There's more to this feeling, to this space and energy. Crazy. How we get to go this weekend, and it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to Calgary to do the same thing, except for I don't have to take the king costume. I get to be free of the costume for the first time in 2 years, so I don't know what that's like. So I'm excited for that, but it's just a lot of joy to be able to share and experience again that amount of fun.
Yeah, it's like my favorite day, because I know there's just like I assume it's similar. Like I always say that nobody can ruin Christmas for me. It doesn't matter what I'm up to. You can't fight. You can family. You can nobody can ruin Christmas for me. And I feel very similarly about Carrie West for Ethan, where I'm just like, this is his day. This is his time. It's more of like a don't fuck this up for him from me, but I also know it's like you're fairly untouchable that day. Yeah, I would say my joy.
What do you mean by that? Because I think people will be confused.
I guess like my fear most of the time is that people are going to make things worse for Ethan, and that's like not really on the person, it's just on people in general. Um, Ethan works really hard for his like peace and joy and sanity. Um, so it's always a like, is a new person going to make it worse? Is a new person going to do something? Um, and I just know like on Carrie West days that his energy is already high enough that like you're going to have to put in a lot of work to do damage to that, and it's easier for you to like let things go like you said on that day. Like any other day, if that was a regular interaction in public,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just like a high day for you. So somebody would have to like really try to do damage to that day. Yeah, I think Carrie West was also my joy in like similar but different of like it wasn't as anxiety inducing as I thought it would be. I joked that I was on like supervision duty, which like wasn't really a joke. Um, I supervised Brian. I made sure Ethan could keep moving. Uh, there was a couple of people that like annoyed me, but I also very much anticipated it. No matter which way you swing it, I am a white girl joining a Caribbean festival, and I know that people in that band do not know why I'm there still. They do not know that I'm connected to Ethan. So I anticipated there would be people that almost like tested why I was
Mm-hmm.
there, for lack of a better way to say that. Um, I also think people like I might be socially anxious, but like peer pressure's never been my thing. So there was one lady that just kept being like, "You need to be at the front. I literally don't need to be at the front, ma'am. I've been back here the whole time." So just being able to like stand my own and do what I needed to not freak out. Like I am well aware of I'm white. I can't really dance. I'm well aware of all the factors. So my goal was to like be there, be with Ethan, and but also like blend in a little bit. So like being at the back towards the middle, like I made sure I was wearing the right colors that would match the costumes. Like I
Yeah, we all
controlled.
saw our costumes. It was fun as fuck. Even like everybody that during makeup was like, "That's wicked."
Yeah, like I tried really hard to be like, what can I do to like make sure I am blending in as much as I can. So just being able to like stand my own and be like, no, like I know what I need to do to not freak
Mm-hmm.
out. So yeah, it was just like a fun day. There was a couple people that made me feel like very welcome. Like even when Bert was like, we gotta put slits in the back of your shirt so
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't look like you're just like a random white girl that joined. And I was like, thanks for looking out for me, Bert. He was like, always, I have to look out for the white girls.
Uh, Thank you for joining us through our hards and joys. We are gonna, as you can tell, shift a little bit. Um, it's the first time we've done something like this. We would like to take this episode to share some updates between Jill and I. Some things that we've experienced in sharing life together in the last couple of months. Um, and as you can see, it's going to be a heavy and hard episode. Um, make the necessary adjustments. Your trigger warning on this episode especially goes out to females, femmes, feminine, femme passings, identified as females. We are going to touch on a lot of things in the next little bit of time. Mental health, abortion, things that can be triggering, things that can be upsetting. We appreciate you spending time with us. Um, if you need space, if you'd like to check on either of us, if you'd like to just have a conversation, you know that our inbox is always open. If you feel safe to share, as always, our inbox is open. Not always do we pivot our shows this way, but I think that this time it is appropriate to set the tone that for the next however long we get to chat with you, our topic is going to be about an experience that Jill and I shared, and namely an experience that Jill had to go through, got to go through, and her experience of it. We didn't talk about how to do this. I don't know if you just want to talk, love. I don't know if you want to be asked a question. I will do my best this episode, as I say this now, to stay out of it. Everybody knows that I can get excited and I can talk and I can jump at it. And my experience of this next bit is for another episode. So please feel free to stick your hand up. Feel free to remind me that I'm here in support today. Because all of those things are still very true. No matter if I try to outburst with Disney.
I think a disclaimer I will give is I'm not actually looking for opinions. Because I think my fear in talking about it is that people will be mad at me, which, as much as I can live on the side of it, doesn't matter. It's my choice. Yeah. So I think my ask/disclaimer is like I'm not actually looking for opinions on
Sure.
Whether you agree, disagree, would have done something different. That's cool. I don't need to hear about it.
Cool. My boundary on that one, don't fucking cross it. That's an ask from her because she's nicer than me. It's a boundary from me. She isn't asking for an opinion. I sure as fuck don't give a shit about your opinion. Keep it to your damn self.
Yeah, if you follow me on, I guess it's on Instagram and TikTok by now, I mentioned in a post that I haven't really had an appetite / haven't really been eating, and that's because I was pregnant. Yep. If you have been here for a while, you know that I don't want kids. Haven't wanted kids for a long time, still don't want kids. And very much confirmed that. For years I've been saying I don't want kids, and everyone's always said I'll change my mind. And when the opportunity presented itself, it was still a no. There's no version of me that wants kids. I don't want to be a mom. I don't want kids. So I got my IUD out 2 months ago. And not that the details fully matter, but very much was living in the headspace of like, oh, it takes people years to get pregnant. Like there's no way. I've been on birth control for 17 years. Period was 4 days late. Period was 10 days late. Took a test being like, just to be sure, pregnant. And it wasn't a, what am I going to do? It was a, what's the next step? And I have thanked Ethan for this, but I give him a lot of credit's the wrong word, but he just helped with figuring out who to call, what to do, where to go. And I think my biggest reason I wanted to talk about it was because nobody does. I think there's a lot of people that have either chose to get an abortion or had to get an abortion and don't talk about it for whatever reason. I think a big reason a lot of us don't talk about it is because it is such a hush-hush conversation. We're not supposed to talk about it. Nobody's supposed to know all of these things. And I think that's dumb.
It's how people start having backyard abortions. It's how teenagers start getting in fucked up situations because we don't get to talk about it. And when I say we, I'm collectively adding me as the lowercase w this time to Jill's we, because it's not my body. It's not. I didn't have to carry it. I didn't have to take the pills. I didn't have to do any of that. It never will be. Another story. entirely, but not talking is why this shit keeps getting so fucked up, and there's powers that be, blah, blah, blah. But community's where it starts. Always.
Yeah, like me and my best friend, something as simple, have had a pact forever that, like, if either of us ever needed to get an abortion, that it would be no questions asked, I'll drive you situation. Thankfully, I have Ethan, but not everybody has a partner or a human that is supportive and no questions asked. I don't know where I was going.
You want to take time to think about it? And then I can add mine.
Yeah, I think just to the point of nobody talks about it. Like the amount of women that have to deal with it by themselves, have to figure out where to go, who to call, all of the things by themselves. And I think that's dumb. I think reproductive health, abortion care, all of those things are part of women's health. We're the ones that carry the kid, create the kid, birth the kid.
Mm.
No, that's fair. Like, we're the ones that have to deal with most of the aftermath of
the math.
Creating.
Yeah.
And I think that's scary to have to do alone. And I think it shouldn't be such a big thing to talk about because there's probably somebody you know, probably multiple people you know, that have either willingly done it or had to do it and they just haven't talked about it. And I think as a women's health coach with a platform, it would be a miss for me to not remind people that it's a normal part of women's health.
As much as it's unfortunate. Like, and I say that as a part of the problem. Formerly, like I speak and I'll advocate from my lane about the way the world treats women because they treat black people worse. So I do know in my own way, but I was also really a part of the problem as a part of the patriarchy, the toxic masculinity, the second abortion that I had was I handled so fucking poorly. I wasn't there in support. I needed support. I couldn't wrap my head around not being a good Christian, not being at this. I was so in my own head that I couldn't see that my partner at the time needed me no matter what. And that's something I'll never go back to. I know the helpless feeling of doing everything alone. And that was ignorance. That was having blinders on. That was full on just not being healed, not being the man that I needed to be in that moment. And I say that from my story because hearing this and being praised by Jill is great because I will take that in this moment because I wasn't always this way. Like, I for sure have not always been this way. And in my own healing and growth, and I, apologize to the person that I hurt in that moment many times. But it just, sometimes those lessons are harder than others. And I'm not perfect. I do my best right now. And my best is right here.
Yeah, I also assume there's many people in your side that have been in the support, whether they nailed that support role or not. I understand that it's like a big stressful thing for everybody involved. But to have like my people, Ethan and friends, very much be the no questions asked that everybody deserves in those moments was neat. Me and my best friend at the time were not in the best space friendship wise. Had set a pretty hard boundary with her like 3 days before. And she was the person that she always said she would be in that situation. But I also know not everybody has that. And then there was a lot of things that came with it of like a weird amount of guilt. Not in the sense of like, I'm getting rid of a child. Because I'm not going to be...
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't mean to verbalize that. I get what you mean. What we're talking about now is that this was important too.
My guilt wasn't from like...
This is a life. Because that's Christian Ritter bullshit. Fuck off.
First of all, it's a parasite.
Yeah.
Second of all, it wouldn't have a very fun life with me as its mother anyways. But the guilt came more from like, what do you mean I'm pregnant when there's people that try to get pregnant for years? Um, which like caught me a little bit off guard.
Caught me off guard too. She knew it right away, if I can interject for a second, when it happened. Um, you know, whatever up until that point happened, and we were already stressed, and then to have her in the midst of that go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I knew before she said the sentence what she was pissed off about. Like, not a "woe is me, why me?" Like it couldn't have been my friend that has been trying fucking these things for years. It couldn't have been two of my clients that have been on IVFs wasting thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, it came from this. I want to say empathetic. I want to say pissed off at whatever powers that be of balance. Like, it was a very interesting, still is, just a very interesting pivot in that moment to hear the guilt come from there, or the shame come from there, whichever it was.
Yeah, like it just feels unfair that I was on birth control for 17 years. I don't want kids. My IUD was out for less than 2 weeks. It was one time. And I'm pregnant. The math, like there's no, it still doesn't math in my brain when I have clients that come off of birth control, wait years, do all the things, fix their diet, lose weight, blah, 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 and they can't get pregnant even though all they've ever wanted to do is be a mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm instantly pregnant. So yeah, the guilt didn't come from like, oh no, I'm ending a life. It came from like, why can't I gift this to somebody else that wants nothing more than to be a mom? It feels almost wasted. I'm going to put it in air quotes because I don't, but I can't think of a better word. It feels almost wasted on me because I will never use that when there's people that like all they dream about is being a mom. But I also like confirmed the fact that I would be miserable pregnant. So like, don't leave a comment being like, you could be a surrogate. No, also not an option. And that's what I mean by like feels wasted on me. So yeah, I would say like a lot of like a little bit of shame, more so the guilt. And then also just the panic of like, get rid of it. Very thankful for the clinic I went to.
Me fucking too. As a support person, nothing to do with the abortion. From a person that vets care clinics, this from the outside looking in was spectacular.
Should I say the place out loud, or is that?
I think that if they want to know the place, they can reach out. Okay. Because I still think that there's, in protecting this place, as you all know, the world is the world, and people are fucking stuck on stupid. And so this place, you would never, fuck me, never, ever, you have probably, if you live in Edmonton, you've driven past it. I can almost guarantee you at least once. It's crazy.
You won't find them even if you go looking.
You can't. Yeah, it's beautifully done. It's sad that they have to hide, but they did a really great job. And yeah, I think that if we are keeping up with the way that they set themselves up, you can ask us for their information. But a beautifully done setup. People that 150% understand what is happening in every version of this need.
Yeah, I will say there's 2 clinics in the city. One, deeply unpleasant situation, and interaction with the lady on the phone. I didn't even end up going to the clinic to have it done. And the lady on the phone was a cunt, which is a crazy position to be being mean to a person calling you in a time of need, no matter what, but especially when you're responsible for women's health. So that was like a crazy. So if you ever need the resources, please message me and I will tell you where not to go.
Very specific.
And I will tell you where to go.
Yeah.
My friend I don't know if Ashlyn listens to the podcast, but she's actually the one who found the clinic I ended up going to because they could get me in sooner. And this is my PSA to anyone: if you, a friend, anyone ends up in the situation where they do need abortion care, you don't have to go through your family doctor. Because I don't know about you, but it takes like a month to get into my family doctor. So you don't have to go that route if it doesn't make sense to you. There are clinics set up just for reproductive health and abortion care. Um, but the clinic I went to was like protect those people at all costs. They were like the kindest humans, from the lady working at the front desk to the doctor who did it.
This is why care is so proper. Human-led care is so important, especially in the medical field.
Yeah, just the whole process was like very seamless. They left nothing to guess about. Everything was like not over explained, but explained to the point where like I didn't have to sit at home being like, am I dying? Is something going wrong? They were like super cool about, you're currently here for this type of appointment. Do you want options on other types of care around reproductive health? I said no, that I was confident in my decision, and nobody mentioned another thing. There wasn't like a, are you sure? Do you want to know about this? It was, are you confident in your decision? Great, cool. Continue on. The doctor called me the week after, and even them calling me, like their phone number comes up very discreet. He didn't say where he was calling from when I answered the phone. He made sure I was like, his line when he answered the phone was like, is this a good time and are you safe to talk? They ask if they can leave you a voicemail before you leave, like just the way they make sure that if you don't want anybody to know
or can't have other people knowing,
they won't know. There's a reminder under their Wi-Fi to forget the network when you leave. Like, you could show up, do what you need to do for yourself, and leave, and nobody would ever know. And I think that's like deeply important, and the level of effort they put in to keep themselves safe and secure is a reason why I won't just tell you who they are. Yeah, the doctor called me a week later, checked in, and I literally was like, do you think you could just call me every week? He was like the nicest man, and going to a man was scary. But yeah, it was just like a very positive experience in a situation that's not fun. So yeah, if you're ever in a similar boat or you need any type of reproductive health care, please send either of us a message and we'll send you the info. It gave me like a weird amount of perspective as a women's health coach working with women and through all the phases of pregnancy. Gave me like a good amount of perspective on like aversions to food, appetite, all of those things. I was fairly naive in the sense of like, there's no way things happen this fast. Female bodies, women's bodies, I should say, are fascinating to me.
Yeah, I would say even in that moment, for me, my experience being a part of a pregnancy already helped in reassuring you that this was normal. Because like even it didn't phase me. I remember that part. Like every time you came upset and explained the thing, my brain went, "Yep." Just reassuring enough to at least calm the nerves. She's still pregnant. She's still stressed, but that experience from my side of support was just like, yeah, this is in fact, you know, this as a woman, your hormones are doing crazy shit setting up for 9 months this takes. You don't think you're going to have some crazy times in there?
And I've always said I would be miserable pregnant, and that confirmed it, because I was like, with all the love and respect I have for anyone who chooses to have a kid, good for you. Because it was like, even the doctor...
You didn't say shit. Good for you.
Even the doctor was impressed. Like, he had to obviously confirm I was pregnant, and he was like, oh, you're only like 5 weeks. He was like, you must really know your body. And I'm like, I do. But also, how does anybody, like, couldn't be me. So I give you guys a lot of props and credit and all the things. Like, I've had clients be like, no, I just can't eat. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't eat? And then I'm over here spitting out food because it tastes wrong. So, yeah.
The schnozberries did not taste like schnozberries.
Like, and I told Ethan, I'm like, I have the taste buds of a toddler. Like, I ate noodles with butter and
said that
cheese
to you?
for dinner one night. One of my friends had her own experience, and she was like, no, I literally was like, I have the taste buds of a toddler. And I'm like, okay, so we're all living the same life here. That's good to know. But yeah, as much as it was heavy and hard and still is.
50% autism, 50% pregnancy. Some bad taste buds.
Yeah, it was wild. Like, one day my entire nutrition was chicken nuggets and some french fries. So, mostly I was like, somebody's going to clue in eventually that I haven't put out nutrition content in weeks because I'm not eating food. But more so, I think it's important to talk about, just because I don't think it should be a hush-hush thing. I think people should have access to the information they need to take care of their health and take care of their bodies the way they need to. And people should have support systems, whether that comes from people you know or the doctors that work at the clinics.
There's multi-levels to your support systems team. There's going to be tiers and people that flow in and out of it, like the doctors that just supported Jill. Like, they may never, ever see each other again. But that's such a pivotal piece of Jill's care for the rest of her life now. Forever. Mine too. For no reason other than there's a safe place that I know of. If anybody else ever asked publicly, ever asked by word of mouth, hey, have you heard of a place that's so far? Yeah, I actually do. I know of a really great one. Like, there's so much about this that shouldn't be hush-hush, that should be spoken about, that for so many levels and so many reasons.
Yeah, I could probably talk about it forever.
And maybe we will. Well, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions. And even from my side as a support, there's still a lot of things that I did great. There's still things I would do better. Ask. This one isn't actually about me.
Yeah, it made me, like, very grateful to not be in the U.S. because I cannot imagine the added stress of not being able to access the healthcare you need, and then having to figure out that whole puzzle piece of it too. I'm very grateful that I could drive 25 minutes, get what I needed, return to my home
without risking as much as it risks the doctors because they have to hide. They don't have to hide like they do in the States. They have to hide because the public sucks. They don't have to hide for fear of losing their fucking license or their ability to care or their practice or their livelihood, their homes. You know, like it's not my episode. It's not my episode.
Even as simple as when we got to the clinic, I was like, are there going to be like people outside? Because you know when you see on like TikTok,
it happens in Kelowna. If you live in Kelowna, those fucking cunts are out every day.
Like, are there going to be people protesting the right? Like, my right to healthcare, abortion care, and to make decisions for my own body. Thankfully, didn't have to deal with that. But it's just like the Rolodex of things, of the what ifs. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things I'm thankful for. I'm glad to have a space to talk about it. I was not putting it on TikTok because I don't need to end up on the wrong side of the internet and get my head ripped off. But I think it's important that people know that other people deal with it too, whether they choose to speak about it or not, whether they can speak about it or not. That
we know the statistics, teams. Like, they tell us every day in these things while we're not talking about it. So why are we always shocked when people close to us talk about it? 1 in 3.
And I hope, if nothing else, it gives you a space to come to if you ever need support, help, direction. I'll send you links. I'll pick you up in my car. I don't care.
I don't have to be there. I can be there. And I mean that really, because there's some clinics won't let men in. And I'm fully for that. I know why. That's why my opinion on reproduction is what it is. But I also understand, like, there's those of us that are here trying to do our best to hold the space and just hold it. But I'll sit in the car for half an hour and be here for everybody. If I have to be your safe person, hi, my name is Ethan and I have access to a vehicle. I'm pretty good at keeping secrets, and I'll stomp anybody in our way.
Yeah, I went through a big back and forth of like, it's not anybody's business, but I do feel like it's a piece of my privilege of being a white woman with access to it and also having a platform to talk about it, that I don't want people to think they don't have support, and I don't want people to think they're the only ones that have ever dealt with it. So if you need support, you have it here. If you need links, a car ride, a bedroom to sleep in, whatever. If you don't have support next to you, know that you have it here in whatever way we can both give it. And if you need the reminder that you get to make decisions for yourself, it doesn't actually matter how anyone else feels, thinks, wants.
Not a single moment in this has my opinion mattered. As much as it does, it absolutely doesn't, even when Jill asked me for it. It doesn't matter how I feel. It is not my body. It is not my say. I don't fucking care. A piece of me is inside her. But it's not my body. So I don't have a fucking say.
So that's been the last couple months now, I guess. But yeah, just felt like as much as I didn't have to, I needed to say the thing out loud. I share a lot of my life on the internet, and again, not that this is anybody's business, but it just felt like my place to say the thing out loud so that more people can say the thing out loud and get the support that they need. Yep, whether you agree with it or not is actually none
Doesn't
of my
matter.
business.
Doesn't matter if they agree. You chose to listen. Now you learn some shit. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for crying with us. Thank you for sharing in your cars, sharing in your houses, sharing your spaces. And please, again, we are not looking for an opinion, but if you feel safe to share your experience, if you have a genuine question, heartfelt question, please feel free to ask. If you have a fucked up question and choose to ask it, you're going to get put on blast in the craziest way. So
If you're
tread
sitting
carefully.
there, if you're sitting there being like, this couldn't have come at a better time, please give me the info. Send us a DM. And yeah, just know that like, as long as you're hanging out with us, you're not alone in whatever you're dealing with.
And you're always safe. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing, baby. We love you guys.
Bye.